Good morning, rock and metal fans, coming to you once again from break time at work. So, we're going to carry on with the. What happened to my voice then? We're gonna carry on. I swear my balls have dropped. Right, we're going to carry on with 2009, the best songs. So, getting back to the lists again. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for the lists back. So we're on 2009. Obviously not long to go, but some real decent music coming in these next few years. I think we've been a bit, lucky with the music that we've got. If you think about, I was thinking about this the other day, the 80s, we were just bombarded, weren't we, with metal music, because it was all over MTV. It was probably the most popular music at the time. It was mad, but I was getting a bit worried, thinking, is this sort of music we like, this melodic, heavy rock stuff, is it going to go again? Is it going to be overtaken by something similar to grunge or something different in the way of metal? And I was thinking, I don't think it will. I think that it became too popular back in the 80s. It was good for bands, obviously, to, make money and be successful. But it became so popular that it was going to head for something, it was going to blow up in their faces, And, people say grunge killed hair metal and all that. That's rubbish. It just became so popular, and it was just going to end. And then there were so many bands trying to jump on the bandwagon and getting signed, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. But I'm still finding bands now that I didn't know about, 30 odd years later, that I didn't know about back in the 80s, because there were so many of them. And now I'm finding new music now from stuff in the 80s. It's just weird. It's mad. So I think our music, our melodic, heavy rock and metal is safe, because I don't think it's ever going to get so popular that it could blow up again, So the only thing I would say is that we're sort of becoming a bit saturated with melodic rock at the moment, melodic heavy rock. You just need a few bands that are going to stand out. There are some, but there's a lot of bands that are sounding very similar, and it's hard to differentiate. Why do I try big words? I just can't say them. It's hard to tell the difference between some of them. Anyway, I'm going to get on with the list now. Now I'll stop rambling on. So we've got 9 songs to talk about, and a couple of honourable mentions I was going to put on the end. So number 9, a band. So this is a band that were big, quite big, back in the early 80s. New wave of British heavy metal band that's have recently changed their sort of style over the last few albums, I'd say, into that sort of melodic heavy rock side, but they're really good at it. And that's Praying Mantis. And it's so high, the song's so high, off of Sanctuary. I could have picked lots of songs off of this. I was listening to it yesterday, this album. Didn't know which one to really choose. They really mix their albums with lots of different textures and different genres of sort of, 1 minute they can sound very European sort of metal or heavy rock and metal, and then the next minute they slow it down into sort of a real 80s sort of vibe. I love So High. It's a great song, and you should give Praying Mantis a chance. You really should. I was put off of them because I never used to like them. When I was younger, Praying Mantis, I never got into them. But they are a different band now. They are totally different. They're great. That's my number 9. My number 8, the return of Alice in Chains. And I've chosen Your Decision off Black Gives Way to Blue. So Your Decision was I think it was their second single off the album. Sort of more of a slower song. Acoustic guitar. I love Alice in Chains. I just think when they slow it down sometimes, they mix their acoustic with electric, a bit like on the old Jar of Flies EP and that. This is a brilliant song. I think that all the vocals are handled on this one by Jerry himself, and of course, he does a great job. You just see when you look back now on with them early albums, with Dirt especially. I know his vocals were all over him. You didn't realise how important he really was to that band vocally, as well as being a great guitarist and songwriter. So yeah, Absolutely love. Black Gives Way to Blue was a great return for Alice in Chains. A lot of people still ain't giving Alice in Chains a chance because of Lane Staley not being there. You know, I'm not one of them people. I think if the band's good, if the band are good, you've got to move on, in my opinion. And they are brilliant now. You know, I think they've actually got better and better. So, Alice in Chains, your decision is number 8. Excuse me while I have my tea on my tea break. My number 7, a band called Wet. Bit of a collaboration, but they've had 3 albums out actually now. This is a debut album. It's got the Eclipse singer and guitarist in it. It's got Jeff Scott Soto. It's also got someone else. But it's a Frontiers collaboration album. And it's everything you want from an AOR, melodic heavy rock sort of band. You've got shades of, you know, Foreigner in there. Got shades of sort of White Snakey, sort of, but very, very melodic, really catchy. And I've chose Come Down Like Rain. Is a brilliant single, slow, lovely, slow ballad, builds up. A superb song from a brilliant collaboration by Frontiers Records. That's my number 7. My number 6, Stryper, 4-Leaf Clover from Murder by Pride. So this is where Stryper started to get sort of in their stride a little bit, sort of coming back to how they used to sound, you know, that classic Stryper sound. They did Reborn, obviously. I think the covering was done by now as well. It might have been the covering after this. I can't remember. I'm a div. But Murder by Pride, it sort of had a more of a modern production. It was sort of, you know, a bit too modern, I suppose you could say. Drum sound. I mean, you listen to the new album, and the production on that now blows this one out of the water. And I think that's the only thing what Murder by Pride suffered with a little bit, but there's some great songs on it. 4-Leaf Clover is a catchy song. 4-Leaf Clover probably could be on one of those last 4 albums. That's my number 6. I can't go on too much about Stryper because I've already had a Stryper marathon for the last month and a half. Number 5, Primal Fear. I've chosen 6 Times Dead off of 16/6 Before the Devil Knows You're Dead album. God, that's a mouthful. So I like Primal Fear. German power metal band, true metal, vocalist soaring to the heavens. They've got, you know, they are true, sort of, if you like, your sort of Priest, but a better vocalist. Controversial. You know I like to be controversial. But a great vocalist, Ralph Sheepers, and all the band. They're just top-notch musicians. Yeah, you know, they're great at what they do. They can be, sometimes they can mix it up on albums, you know, sometimes they haven't so much. You know, I prefer it when they do like a slow song by them. They do a real epic sort of symphonic sort of slow songs. Then they do medium pace. This is a medium pace song. This is true metal. This is head banging stuff. If I had hair, honestly, I'll be giving it large. I'll be like that all the time with this band. Number 4, Heaven and Hell, Atom and Evil. So obviously, basically Black Sabbath, but they were called Heaven and Hell. I don't really get that. Should have just been called Black Sabbath, but there you go. This is off the Devil You Know album. The last thing that Ronnie Dio did before he passed away. Ronnie Dio obviously never, you know, he never let up as a vocalist, did he? He never let you down. Even on this album, I don't even know how old he was during this album, but so strong on vocals. You know, I think this album, if you talk about it as a Sabbath album, I think it pissed all over the Return of Ozzy Osbourne, the 13 album. But you know what, I'm a Dio fan, aren't I? So, you know, I'm going to think that, but it just fitted in perfectly with the album itself, fitted in perfectly with all the other 3 that Ronnie made, and a live album, remember. Sort of returning with that really bassy sound that Mob Rules had, if you know what I mean. A brilliant album. It's probably my least favourite if you put it into the Sabbath albums. It's my least favourite of the Dio ones. You know, I prefer the other 3, but it's still a great effort that fitted in with perfectly with all the other albums, and I just love the way it just jumps out of the blocks at the beginning. Adam and Evil, really excellent work by Tony Iommi, and obviously Ronnie Dio. Right, number 3, get in there. Gonna go a bit southern rock now. Blackberry Smoke and Freedom Song from Little Piece of Dixie. So Blackberry Smoke they're a great band, and Freedom Song is just Skynyrd. It's just Skynyrd all over. Like I've always said before, they take the mantle when Skynyrd go completely and they retire, if they ever do. Blackberry Smoke are the band, that are going to take that mantle. They even sound more like Skynyrd than Skynyrd do at the moment. They're a superb band. Freedom Song is just an amazing, epic sort of southern ride. It's brilliant. I absolutely love it. I love everything about Blackberry Smoke. I've seen them in concert, maybe the most times out of any band. I always go and see them when they come to England. They are brilliant. Check them out. Honestly, if you love Skynyrd, you love your southern rock, these are the band. They're the best band out there. Talking of Lynyrd Skynyrd, they've come in at my number 2. And God and Guns from their God and Guns album. So, the last 2 Skynyrd albums are absolute quality. This one, and the new one, latest one, escapes me. Last of a Dying Breed, that was it. But God and Guns is easily better for me than Last of a Dying Breed. I love it. It's got heaviness throughout the album, but this song itself, God and Guns, a bit controversial. These guys are southern, aren't they? They want their guns, and they've got strong beliefs in God. So, I mean, this was, I think, a controversial song when it came out. People were sort of saying, they shouldn't be singing about stuff like this. You know what? Sing about what you want. If you want to sing about it, sing about it. It actually, I really love this song. How does the chorus go? We might as well give up and run if you take away our God and Guns. Pretty cool. And then at the end, it really goes into a sort of real rocking song. It sort of starts off really southern. Sort of you imagine it, someone playing it on the back step of with a guitar and just a singer. And then in the end, all the band kick in. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's my number 2. And my number 1, one of my favourite, can't even say he's a new vocalist or a recent act, is Jean, Road of the Cross from Spirit Black. Absolutely love this vocalist. This is his favourite solo album for me. Spirit Black is the best album he done. It's filled up with brilliant songs. Didn't know which song to choose, but Road of the Cross has got a real sort of, I don't know, faster sort of like Sabbathy sort of chug going along, like Heaven and Hell but quicker, but really heavy. Absolutely love Road of the Cross. John, if you don't know him, check him out. If you love a brilliant rock vocalist, he's the one. He takes the mantle from me, from Dio. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. He sings high, he sings low. He's got that rasp in his voice that Dio used to have. He's got that soulful bit of Coverdale. John is brilliant. That's my number 1. A couple of honourable mentions. I'm not going to really talk about it too much, but Winger, their Karma album was out. Underrated band. I think they're a really good band, really intelligent as well. Don't think they're what, people think of Winger, oh God, I don't even know why they do, but I think they're a great band, Winger. Really underrated. And Foreigner had Can't Slow Down, which came out. It's the only album. I'm a bit disappointed, actually. Should be another album out by now. This was like ages ago they brought Can't Slow Down out with the new singer. Did a great job. The album's very underrated. People say it seems like a copy of the band. No, I love it. I think it's great. I think it's more consistent than most of the Foreigner albums in the back catalogue, in my opinion, remember. We've all got good opinions, haven't we? We're not all good. we've all got different opinions. Right, that's it for 2009. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be preparing for a few interviews and some stuff I'm doing with some subscribers on Zoom calls and that. So I'm going to be preparing for quite a bit of that. So you might not see too much content over the next few days. And I'm going away for the weekend, back to see my family, my girls, at the weekend. So yeah, you're going to be a bit quiet on the channel. So make sure you stay tuned next week though, because there's some really cool things coming up that I've already mentioned. Thanks a lot for listening. If you want to subscribe, please press the red button, bottom right hand corner. Cheers.